Let me begin by sharing that this episode of Hard Truths will not contain my pal, my co-host, Jolly Good Ginger. He is actually doing something right now which is pretty spectacular. And I like that. Fuck It Friday. Great name. He is, as a veteran, participating in a massive veterans event. I suspect it's in DC. Um, he's going to let every one of us know about it. Uh, there, it's going to be like one of the largest veteran protests that's out there. But I didn't want to lose the opportunity. Yeah, we love Jolly. Um, don't agree on everything, but I will say, you got the book? Good, Linda. By the way, to all of you the other day that ended up ordering the book from me, more than 26 books went out just this morning. It was a day or two delayed because of the rain, but they are on their way to each and every one of you now. Okay. We got to talk about we'll call it the elephant in the room. We got to talk about the big news of the day. And of course, we're talking about the FBI raid on the home and then the law office. Oh, you just saw him with Don? Yeah, but I'm talking about now. He's on his way. Veterans to respond to National Guard. They're all there in D.C., whatever. They have as he says, we have a moral responsibility to stand and to speak up. And you know what? It's hard to imagine. These are the folks that put their lives on the line for us every single day. But I want to just get back to the big topic at hand, something that unfortunately I know more about than I ever thought that I would. I remember April 9th, and I remember a knock on the door, 7 a.m. My son had just left to go to school. Knock on the door. My wife and I, we were eating breakfast. I look through the peephole, and there must be 12.5 people in the hallway. I open the door. Guy grabs my hand, asks me to come if I come into the hallway. Big fella, nice guy, to be honest. Identifies himself as the FBI and expresses to me that he has a warrant to search the premises. Simultaneously, while that was going on, they also were executing a warrant in my law office down over at 30 Rock. And it took me a long time to sort of understand what the hell happened there, why it happened. Not a criminal lawyer. And now, hindsight being 2020, I start to think about what's in store for folks like John Bolton. What's in store for a guy who I don't like John, by the way. A guy who I do happen to like, Miles Taylor. I start to think about all the folks that are on the Trump enemies list, the Kash Patel enemies list, whoever's list you want it to be, doesn't matter to me. And knowing how the system works, I can honestly say that each and every one of these folks are going to sadly experience the same shit that I did years ago. Now, before I even knew what was going on here, as you all know, at 8 o'clock in the morning, I had just learned of the raid, again, John Bolton's home and office. And I had put out at that time my Substack. We're going to get into, Patty, we're going to get into what they're looking for. Hey, Luann. And I called my Substack article of the day, and I think it's extremely important. Trump's enemy list is now the docket. And I turn around and I say, if there's one thing that I learned about President Trump, and God knows I've learned it the hard way, it's that he never forgets a grudge. He nurses it, feeds it, he waters it like a plant until it blooms into a weapon. Retribution isn't just a theme for him, it's a religion. He campaigned on it. He promised. And now, once again on these campaign promises, he is delivering. And the American people, whether you like it or not, are witnessing what it looks like when the full power of the presidency is bent not for governance or justice, but towards settling scores. Now, I want to go back to Patty's question for a second. I'm going to take this apart piece by piece. And do me a favor, thank you to each and every one of you smashing the heart. Do me a favor, use that square, go with the up arrow, share this with family and friends. There's not enough folks with us. And I'm not really sure why anybody would be watching any other television other than this when you're speaking to somebody who has probably the only firsthand knowledge of what John Bolton is currently going through. More importantly, what he's going to go through. So, Patty, to answer your question, what are they looking for? Anything and everything. But I want to say this, and I want to be very clear about it. These warrants, they are extremely specific, right? It's to search and seize anything that's listed in that document. And no, Marty, they're not going to plant anything. They don't need to. There's so many things here that somebody knew about in this subpoena. They actually don't ransack the home. They were very, very careful with everything. Nothing got broken. They didn't cut through cushions and pillows and stuff like you see on TV. To be honest, the feds, the FBI, especially the gentleman that was leading the team, he was absolutely a gentleman. In fact, the entire team, male and female, they were absolutely respectful in every way, shape, and form. Here's the thing. We know that John Bolton has spoken quite a bit about issues and topics in his book. Now, people are saying, no, Michael, it can't just be about the book. That matter has already been decided. Well, again, we don't know what that subpoena looked like. Remember that a judge signed off on it, meaning that they had to believe with likelihood, with certainty, that an indictment would come out of it. And I'm telling you emphatically, as I write in my Substack, there will be an indictment here. Do you remember hypothetically the name Reality Winner? Anybody here remember young Reality? Young girl, got 5 years or 7 years. She's the Army officer who was concerned about Russian election interference and leaked a document, one-page document. They threw the book at her. Well, let me say this. There's definitely more than that in John Bolton's office, in his home, on his computers, whether it's going to be new information. I understand that they can't use old information, but they'll find a way. I want people to remember, we're not talking about your mom and dad's or your grandma or grandpa's DOJ. DOJ has always had certain, let's say, character flaws, but it was never so blatant and in your face. Trump has weaponized the Department of Justice, as you all know from the book. It's the freaking title. How Donald Trump weaponized the United States Department of Justice against his critics. In my case, it was Bill Barr. Right now, you have even a greater loyalist, Pam Bondi. So as I say, look at the list of Trump's political enemies and then look at the headlines. You got New York Attorney General Tisha James dared to hold Trump accountable for his business fraud, suddenly under the microscope of the Department of Justice. Coincidence? I think not. Alvin Bragg, Manhattan DA, who brought criminal charges against him, now the subject of an investigation that seems tailor-made to discredit and neutralize him. Senator Adam Schiff, Trump's arch nemesis during the impeachment saga, he has his own federal heat coming down on him. Pattern is so obvious, it's insulting that they expect us to believe that these are independent legal inquiries. But here's the crazy part. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It matters if you're talking in theory, if this is a law school class on constitutional law, criminal law, or criminal practice. It is not. We are living in a new reality, and we each need to wake up and understand that Trump and his enablers do not see the Constitution. They don't see the law. Certainly the way that my law school professors were teaching it. He has taken complete and total control over our government. He most certainly has. He is much stronger than any of you can possibly imagine. And then there's today's shocker. A couple hours ago, reports broke. The FBI agents raided the home and office of John Bolton. Yeah, talking about John Bolton, the monopoly man, mustache hawk, who once stood by Trump's side before breaking with him in spectacular fashion. And let's not kid ourselves. Trump's despised Bolton for years. Called him a dope, moron, and worse behind closed doors. Their relationship truly fell apart completely when Bolton released that tell-all book after leaving the administration. Now that book, which is filled with embarrassing stories about Trump's incompetence and recklessness according to Bolton, it drew Trump's fury like moths to a flame. Lawsuits flew, accusations were hurled. Trump even tried to block the publication on national security grounds. Despite that, courts let it through. But Trump never let it go. He never let it go. And I say this openly and with total knowledge, different than what you're going to see on TV or listen to some of these idiot pundits talking about it. Trump is truly a president with unlimited power. Unlimited power. Whether it be his taking of it by executive order, whether it be by the Supreme Court's immunity decision, whether it be the fact that he went ahead and he did what everybody said could not be done, and he placed into positions of power, FBI, NSA, DOJ, blah, blah, blah. He placed into power loyalists. So let us at least be honest with each other. How do you think this is going to play out? Do me a favor. In the comments, put a G for good And I'm talking about for the defendants, for John Bolton, for Adam Schiff, for Tish James, Alvin Bragg, Miles Taylor, and others. How do you think it's going to play out? G for good or B for bad? Let me see what you say. Bad is right. Linda, love you, but not true. It will not turn out good for any of them. Yeah, I see all the B's popping up now. Yeah. Want to be very clear. Now, suddenly, there's a criminal investigation or an inquiry into Bolton regarding maybe whether his book revealed classified information or whether he's still holding on to government documents. Sound familiar? You stop for a second because it should. I know everybody on television, they're all turning around and saying stupid shit like, yeah, but Trump had documents. Joe Biden had documents. Here's the difference. Why nobody's talking about it? They're former presidents. They're former presidents. They had the right to take it, and they did accidentally. Some they may have thought were declassified, others they didn't. Let me be very clear. This is Trump's playbook. Page 1. Cast the enemy as a threat to national security. We don't even know exactly what those search warrants said. I can't wait to see them. Use the classification system as a cudgel. Use your weaponized DOJ to investigate. They did that. Raid. They did that. And ultimately indict. They will do that. Then Trump, just sit back, claim vindication when the charges are filed. Now, again, none of us know yet what the agents found in Bolton's home. But I'm going to tell you this much. Whatever it is they find, Trump will make sure that they find something. They will. They took his phones, his computer. They got it all. Manuscripts, emails, you name it. They got it all. Because maybe it is emails. Maybe it'll be printouts. Maybe it's a stray briefing document in an old desk drawer. For whatever reason, he took it, kept it. I don't know. Or maybe it's just nothing at all. But the narrative will be crafted just the same. The theory will be that Bolton mishandled classified material. Just like Trump's Justice Department once argued against whistleblowers, I said before, reality winner, who spent years behind bars for leaking a single document about Russian election interference. And I say this despite the fact I don't like John Bolton at all. And I say it with a heavy heart. If they could bury reality winner on one single document, you better believe that they can and that they will bury Bolton. As I said on MSNBC this morning, I think he's in big trouble. And the truth is, it's not even about protecting state secrets. It's not. It's about Trump ticking names off his enemies list one by one, with the glee of a mob boss crossing off debts collected. I want to remind everybody, when I say stuff, I'm not saying it for hyperbole. I'm not saying it for applause. I'm not saying it, to get you riled up. I'm saying because it's factual. Remember? Oh, let me bring Lev in. See if Lev wants to join us for a second. Because do you remember when Trump stood on stage during the campaign and he promised, I am your retribution? Well, too many Americans treated it like it was just campaign theater. But this is real. And here's a couple that many of you are saying right now. Retribution is now a federal policy. Lev, don't look at me. Look at the road. I need you, brother.
And look at there. There you go. Is that better?
Yep, much better. Don't look at me. Just look at the road. We all need you. You know, before I ask Lev some questions here, I just want to finish by saying this. You see, I know this playbook better than anyone. Because for over a decade, I helped write it. Over that period of time, yeah, we bullied, we sued, we smeared those that we saw as enemies. We all rationalized it. I rationalized it. It was just business, but it was never about business. It was always personal. That is how Trump operates, whether you like it or not. And the law, the courts, the government, they're just tools in his toolbox of vengeance. And right now, the man is successfully using the entire presidential toolbox to shape America into a place where dissent equals danger. Let me be clear about that, right? And that's what's going to happen. My prediction, all of these folks, from Tish James to Alvin Bragg to Miles Taylor to John Bolton to Adam Schiff, they all have no idea what's coming. They think they do, but they have no idea what it feels like when the full weight of government comes smashing down on your fucking head. And now I'm going to introduce somebody that also got raided by the FBI, somebody that also understands what it's like to have the full weight of government come crashing down on your head. Lev Parnes, everybody, the man,
I,
the myth, the driver.
I love you, bro. I mean, you
And
couldn't
make
have
sure
said
whoever's in the back seat gives you 5 stars for your Uber.
But I'm telling you, you couldn't have said it better, as crazy as it is. I mean, we've been talking about this, warning about this, screaming at top of our lungs that this is going to happen, and now it's happening. And for those of you that are out there that are still listening to these pundits that are saying, "Oh, this is just nothing," they're trying to. There was already an investigation done. There was nothing done, and this is Trump. Just they're just trying to bully. Trust me, like Michael said, trust me when I tell you, these people are going to go through some things, unfortunately. And I'm hearing from some of my sources that this is just the beginning. I mean, you're see literally. I'm hearing very, very soon. I'm trying to get more info, but Adam Schiff and Comey are next to go, and it's going to happen pretty quickly. When you're going to see Adam Schiff getting raided and start with, and once they start raiding, once the FBI gets into your life, you know how they say you could indict an ham sandwich? Well, let me tell you something. When the FBI wants to, they could find a million different reasons to be able to what's it called, indict you and give you problems.
Lev,
Especially,
one of the books that I left, and I hope you read it in the library, I left like 200 books there. I put my name in all of them too, just that people would know that it was mine. It was a book that was called Five Felonies a Day. It's by Harvey Westglate and also both Sidney Powell. I think it was a combined book by the two of them. Basically, it states that every single person commits 5 felonies a day. Mark my words. Mark my words. Lev is spot on. That each and every one of these individuals is going to feel a pain that they have never felt before. And it's not just going to be a financial pain. That it is. It is going to be pain of losing your freedom, losing your license if it's a law license. It's going to be losing a business if you have one. It's going to be losing it all. And you know what? Trump made this promise on the campaign trail. Lev, you remember, I am your retribution. He stated it emphatically, and nevertheless, that's what the American people chose, and this is where we're at. So buckle up because, well, Lev, are you buckled up, by the way?
I'm buckled up, brother.
All right. Because buckle up, because this ride is going to get very bumpy.
Let me tell you, I mean, people really don't understand how it's one thing, yeah, and what Michael's telling you, you have to understand this, that what happened to me, what happened to Michael, there were still guardrails in the DOJ. There was still some sort of bipartisan. There's still, even though, yes, there were people leaning one way or the other, and it was already corrupted because of all of Trump's, mayhem, but the guard wasn't full.
Oh, Lev, you're breaking up because you're in a bad cell spot. Um, he's right. There were guardrails that were up. Did the guardrails protect me? They absolutely did not protect me. Did the guardrails protect Lev? They absolutely did not protect Lev either. Go ahead, Lev. We were losing you.
Yeah, what I was saying to you is absolutely yes, and not to commit. The guardrails didn't protect us because the power of the southern district is so strong, and the weight of when they come after you, and that's the what you were saying. But now, and now that the fact that they have no guardrails, zero now, where they control the DOJ, control the FBI, control every single lever up I mean, Tulsi Gabbard, you name it, they control every single part of it down from A to Z. I mean, there's zero chance any of these people have a chance to get a fair shake at anything. I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be. I mean, I can't even imagine what they're going to go
Well,
through.
I don't know whether it's fair to say that, whether they're going to get a fair shake or not. Um, I do still believe that the documentation has to stand for itself, but there are scenarios where the Department of Justice would never have brought a case. All right. In this specific case, they are going to. And you know what Trump is going to say? Well, take a look at, for example, the Tish James case, the one that he just got. He just got the win on how much the fine and the penalty should be. That according to this Judge Moulton, that the fine was way too excessive at $500 million. By the way, it's something that even I said going back to the day after the announcement of the verdict came of the decision by the Judge Arthur Engoron came in, that it's a massive number. But we already knew, by the way, that that number was going to change. We knew it was going to change because they changed the amount of the bond that he had to post for the appeal. So we knew how the courts were already thinking. But I want to add one more thing to what Lev just said. He doesn't just control all levers of the administration. He has now put in so many judges, federal judges, appellate court judges. They are going to rule in a manner which is consistent with the theory that people like John Bolton broke the law, whether it's writing or talking about top secret information, classified documents that will be in his possession. This is not even going to be a fair fight. This is an absolute ass beating by somebody 1,000 times stronger than you as you are tied to a chair.
And that's why, Michael, if I may for a second, I want to make sure we have a little bit over 1,300 people there right now. I want to scream at the top of my lungs and tell you, everybody, that if we don't stand up now, if right now you don't go out there and scream at the top of your lungs and go get three, four more people, if you don't start subscribing now, if you don't start doing something right now, you could kiss your democracy goodbye. I can tell you that for a fact. Because this is already, we are at a point between the National Guard in D.C. Today he came out, said he's sending it to Washington, to Chicago next. He's thinking about sending even more military into D.C. He's just announced that he's bringing in the FIFA World Cup, so he's gonna, make sure every city is militarized if it has to be. I mean, folks, and he's doing away with our elections for 2026. He's from gerrymandering to trying to use the executive power to take away mail-in voting, electronic voting, using ice. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Enough. I mean, we're going every day. We need to make a stand. And the only way we make a stand is if we join together. If we get big enough, loud enough, like Michael keeps screaming. I know some of you keep saying, "Oh, Michael's up." No, forget it. Not only hit those hearts, but I'm pleading and asking and begging and telling you guys that if we don't do something now, you're talking to two people that not only know the man, went to prison for the man, know everything about him. There's nobody else on Substack or CNN or ABC or any of these channels that are going to tell you what we are telling you. All the rest of them are pundits. We are telling you exactly what's going to happen. We've been telling you what's going to happen, and now it's happening. Now it's no more if,
It's so
when,
funny
it's
you
happening.
say that, Lev, because you're right. You and I, and maybe two other people have been voicing this concern for literally forever. That when Trump turns around and tells you what he wants to do, what he intends to do, when you start listening to these pundits say he can't do that, it's unconstitutional, it's illegal, stop underestimating the man. Stop underestimating him. I say it 1,000 times. Underestimate him at your own peril. Because so far, despite all the stupidity coming out of the DNC, the GOP, Trump, MAGA, they are actually winning. They are. Okay, there are cases that are going. If I hear one more asshole pundit on any of these stations turn around and say that this was done today, the raid, in order to deflect from the files coming that's supposed to come on the Epstein crimes, it's wrong.
That,
It's not
yeah,
true.
that's just part of it. That's just like casualties of war. Changing the news cycle. That's just an automatic. That's just one thing. Change, the Epstein, his relationship with Putin. Did you guys see? Did you see the press conference just now, Michael? Did you
Oh,
get a
yeah.
chance to see? Did you see him pick up the picture of him and Putin saying him how they sent him the picture? Look how nice they look together, and how he's going to invite him over here for the FIFA World Cup. I mean, just just think about the shit that's coming out of his mouth. I mean, I'm
And by
telling
the
you,
way, you're right. But Lev, by the way, he will invite him. Whether Putin comes or
yeah,
not is another story. When he tells you what he's going to do, understand that's what he is going to do. And there's no guardrails now to stop him. And the funny thing, I also I get so many texts and emails from people and DMs, and they turn around and they're like, impeach Trump. That shit's not going to happen. And let's stop talking about far right field. We're nowhere near right field right now. We're not even at home base. We're still in the fucking dugout. So let me be very clear. When the man tells you what he wants to do, please listen to somebody like Lev, who has sat across from Trump. Listen to me, who sat across him for a decade and a half. And I can explain to you, Lev can explain to you legitimately what he is thinking and what will ultimately come out from this. Now, you can turn around and say, well, you're not right 100% of the time. That's true, I'm not. But I've certainly been right at least 90% of the time. And you know what? I would take those odds any day.
absolutely. And I'll tell you another thing, folks. Just so you understand, me and Michael are both on that list. That list that everybody was. I remember when he just got into the office. When he won in November, and I think me and you were the only ones at the time screaming about this list retribution. I mean, there were some others that were picking up on it, but we were talking about particularly about the list, and people were saying, "Oh, what? There's no such thing as that list." I'm telling you, there is a list, and this list, and there are certain people on this list. Part of that list was actually Cash Patel's book that he published. Part of that list, the Retribution list, and others. And what I'm hearing, Michael, that is extremely crazy is it's not even crazy, but it's part of the next step. Is now he's looking for the whistleblowers that are leaking all the stuff between that's going on between him, Putin, Witkoff, and all that stuff. And he's just fuming right now. So the next step right now is we're going to see certain other people go down. You're going to see whistleblowers, people around him. They're going to be coming out, and they're going to be going after. And also, I'm hearing more independent media. They're going to start targeting also platforms, independent media, more and more stronger the closer we get to the midterms. So just buckle up, like Michael said, because this is getting really bad.
You know, it's it's funny because when you and I were on television speaking to journalists and saying, yeah, we have concerns about this list. I know Trump and he'll hold a grudge forever. Well, you know what most of them did? They laughed at us.
Yeah, I remember.
They laughed at us. They turned and they said, I think you're just looking for some attention. Really? You think I was looking for attention when I self surrendered at Otisville? You think Lev did the same? Are you joking? And then I turned around and at one point I said, listen, I'm very nervous. If he actually wins, I may leave the country. Well, then that became a whole story in itself. Anything within which to disparage me, anything within which to disparage Lev or others who actually spoke out. How about, as I spoke to you a few moments ago before Lev came on, reality winner, the young military girl who had leaked a one-page document that concerned her on Russian election interference. I think she got like 7 years
Yeah,
or
yeah.
5 years, something like that, an enormous thing. What do you think John Bolton is going to get? And I assure you, as I am sitting here today, John Bolton could lawyer up with God himself who would come from the heavens. He is going to lose this because, as Lev said, there is something on everyone. There is nobody that has lived in a glass bubble that they're not going to be able to find or to create a scenario where they can indict and charge. Okay? You can say whatever you want, but this matter is literally out of John Bolton's hands right now. And it's only a matter of how bad, not whether or not he gets convicted. I truly believe that he will, and so will people like Comey and others. I don't give a shit who their lawyers are and anything that you're listening to on television. And that's why I'm going to parrot what Lev said a second ago. We need 100,000 people on with us right now. Not 2,000, not 1,500. We need 100,000. And then after the 100, we need 250. Who isn't going to benefit from hearing from Lev Parnes or Michael Cohen? Who knows more about this shit than the two of us? And the answer is nobody. And I'm going to tell you something. Trump is what he intended to do. He has done what he intends to do, and that is to take over full authority and power of the entire government, all three branches.
Michael, what surprises me more than everything, that right now your phone and my phone should be off the hook by people, different congressmen, people of the Democratic Party, asking us for, to help consult how to deal with the situation, how to deal with these people act. I mean, they go out there, they hire all of these consultants like pundits, they hire all of these oppo, research, and they go out. Yeah, research output. They go do it, and I know we've been there. On the other side though, which doing a lot better than this side, obviously. But without saying it, our phone should be off the hook. I mean, just think about it. It's like having your ex-wife, getting somebody's ex-wife. Michael spent 10.5 years with this guy. 10.5 years. You don't
What are you
think
talking about? 13,
Michael
13 and a half.
13 and a half, excuse me. You don't think in 13 and a half years, Michael is not the person that should be sitting in that circle when you're strategizing and saying, what is he thinking? Or what is this one thinking? Same thing here. I spent 4.5 years with this guy, and not only him, but everybody in that administration right now, intricately. You don't think you want to sit down and you want to hear our opinion and you want to hear what's it called, or you want to hear people's opinion that have no, that never met none of these people, that don't know what's going on. And this is why we are losing. We need to wake up. We need to be able to use what we have, the ammunition that's proper to be able to win this war. And the only way we're going to fight and win this war is if we get our message and we get our platform big enough, guys. That's the real truth. When
And,
they
that, and
start
that we leave
realizing,
up, and that we leave up to you. There's
yeah,
only so much, both Lev and myself. I think we've kind of taken it to the max as far as what they refer to in this new world as organic growth. We've both built up our platforms organically. Now we need help. And the only help that we can get from people like you, from our supporters, from those that follow us, that listen, to help us to keep building this platform, again, to be so big that we can't be stopped. And again, I am not advocating for these idiots that keep talking about, oh, impeach Trump. And so that shit's not happening. Let's keep our eye on the prize. And what is the prize? The 2026 midterm elections. All I care about at this moment in time is making sure either the House or the Senate reverts to Democratic control to avoid the loss of our tripartite system of government. And if we
Yep.
are not successful, and right now, if the election was fucking held tomorrow, I'm telling each and every one of you, we would not win. Okay? We would not win. And everybody's saying to me, shut up. How is that possible? Look at all the things that he's doing. Well, that may be true. But you know what else is also true? Democrats don't even have a message. What's the
And not only
message?
and not only that, what people don't understand is you people are well informed. You're here, you're fighters. Majority of the country that's gonna go vote for him are reading the headlines. And the headlines is not from Michael Cohen or Lev Parnes. The headlines are coming from CNN, MSNBC, Fox,
Fox
and those
News,
headlines are
Newsmax,
all
OAN.
News, Newsmax, OAN, and all of those headlines are all somewhat benefit Trumps. The market's up 1,000 points or something. It's like they give snapshots in time, and most people don't have the time to spend to sit here and get the information. So they work all day. They come home. They'll put the TV on. They'll see that 5 minutes of the news break, and they'll say, "Oh, Trump today did this. So the market's up 1,000 points. Oh, this," and that's it, and they move on. They don't go into all of this stuff. Most people don't even realize to what degree and what is happening. They can't even understand it. And that is why it's so important to spread the message. That's why it's so important for you guys to be our extension of our voice, our megaphone to do it. And by the way, guys, I have to go, Michael, because I'm pulling into here and I'm going to lose you guys. Just
Be
a
well,
quick,
brother. I will call you later. Lots to
you
talk
got
about.
Absolutely. Just quick note, maybe you could join us also. I'm trying to put together, I've spoken to Olivia Troy and Miles Taylor, which we might be going live around 5:30 today. See if Miles is up to it. If yes, stay tuned. Make sure everybody subscribes. Michael, if you want, come join us. It's going to be a really, I think, important conversation. So we'll see if that happens. But stay
You
tuned,
got it, my
guys.
brother. Drive carefully. Listen, you're hearing it straight from the mouth of two guys who actually know what they're talking about. So, with that, I also want to just say, as Lev said before, we really do need you. Again, to those of you that are asking in the thing, I don't know how many times I've said the same thing. You guys should all know already. If you want to get the book, just DM me. I tell you how to do it. To those of you, like the 28 of you that actually over the last day or two have asked me, those books are already on their way to you. I hope that when you get them, you let me know that you get them. Tell me what you think. There's so much in that book that is prescient to what we're experiencing right now, because this weaponization, it's not a brand new idea for this administration. He did it with Bill Barr, even though Bill Barr ended up, after leaving office, literally an hour before he ended up leaving, started to become a critic. Fuck him. Bill Barr's worthless, all right, in every way, shape, or form. Just a terrible human being. But right now, as bad as Bill Barr was, well, the loyalists that are around Trump, they're equal, if not worse. No matter what says, nobody's sitting there, as in the first administration, and say, maybe there's a better way to do it. I used to do that all the time, but nobody's doing that. If his impulse tomorrow is that, I don't know, the federalized DC police should walk around with Louisville sluggers and hit people in the kneecaps, absolutely. Mr. President, that's the greatest idea. You are so tough on crime. These criminals will never be able to run after stealing bags again because they'll have shattered shins. And that's what you're getting now. Nobody would turn around and say, how about if we just lock them up? All right, maybe you want to do away with with cash bail, with no cash bail. Yeah, sure. Okay, I get that. Maybe we talk about crimes over $250, right? Somebody goes in, I don't know, take a chocolate bar. Should they really go to prison? I don't think so. It's bad for our system. But so much of this I talk about in my book, Revenge. So again, if you want it, DM me right here. I'll tell you how to get it. We'll get a next batch, probably go out on Monday. So thank you to each and every one of you for being a part of this. Stay tuned. Put your notifications on. There's so much happening right now. Don't miss a minute of the truth. Speak to you all soon. And as always, thanks for joining.